Welcome back. I am Anshu and you are watching Bottleneck. This is the Agenti AI cookbook series where we learn and implement design patterns for AI applications using hands-on examples. In the first two parts, we laid the foundation for our content generation workflow. In this video, we will complete the implementation, bringing together the final orchestration, refining agent interactions, and seeing the system work end to end. Alright, let's quickly walk through the sequence activity diagram to clearly understand how this workflow executes end to end. Alright, the workflow begins when user submits a query. The application powered by state graph stores this query as a shared state. The generate idea step sends the query to the LLM and produces multiple topic ideas, 5 in this case. Then the select topic step picks the best idea and updates the state. So this is the best idea. Then we have a generate outline, which creates a structured outline, which is a multi-line from the selected topic. Now the core logic happens at the right section. This is the right section. All right. Each outline point is processed in a loop. Every new section is generated using previously written content as context. This ensures consistency and avoids repetition. We will see this logic in action while we will be implementing or adding logic to that node. Once all the sections are written, they are combined into a draft. Then finally, the review content step refines the draft into a final output as final content. And at the last, the complete state, including query, idea, topic, outline, sections, and final content is returned to the user. Now let's implement all the nodes that we have written till now. The first is generate ideas. Alright, for generate ideas, we know that ideas, we have to invoke the idea chain. So we will be invoking the idea chain. We will be invoking it? So it will be dot invoke and it takes a dictionary. So let's pass in a dictionary. The key for dictionary is the query, that is the input, and the value should be coming from state, as we learned from the workflow that this value is being added to the shared schema, that is the content state. All right, now it returns idea, so idea will go in here. Now as part of the chain, the idea chain will initiate the prompt. It will take the input from there, then it will use the LLM, and finally the string output parser will be converting everything together into a string and sending it to the shared state. All right, and finally state graph will merge that partial dictionary to back to the shared state. Let's get to the select topic. So what we are going to do, again we are going to select the best topic. So let's call upon the topic chain, select chain. So it is a select topic chain, which again we are going to invoke with the key as in, so here the key will be ideas and the value would be again coming from state as in ideas. All right, and finally it is going to return the best topic. Okay, now we have the topic. Now it's time for an outline. As we know, outline is a multi-line step. Again, it is generated by the outline chain. We had discussed in detail our chains and what it is, how it works in our previous video. I will be sharing the link in the description if you have missed on that. All right, so it is going to call upon the outline chain, and again we are going to invoke. We will pass in the value as topic. Outline requires an input as topic and it will return a value. So what it is going to have topic. So we are getting the idea. So let's take a look. In outline chain we have topic. All right. So we will be passing the topic as the topic itself coming from the state. All right. So let's take a look how it looks like. All right. So now we got the outline, and let's pass the outline as partial dictionary. Okay, till now we are good. We have created the outline. Now it comes a step where we are going to write this section. Here we have to do that iteration. So let's take a look how it is going to work. Watch closely. So we are going to get the points. As we know, it's going to outline is a multi-line statement. So points will have the state, and it will be extracted from outline. Now outline will be divided, as it's a multi-line, so it will be, let's split it on new line character. All right, and we take the top three for our demo purpose. So now we have a point as an array of points. Okay, let's create our placeholder for sections. Okay, and let's create a placeholder for context. All right, so this will be accumulated, and finally it will be used in the logic as we write it. So let's watch closely. For p in points, section is equal to section chain. We are going to invoke the section chain. All right, so here we need to pass in multiple values. So what all things do we need to pass in the section chain? So we need topic, we need point, and we need the context. Context need to be appended every time to avoid the repetition. So first value is the topic, which will be coming down as state topic. Second value is the point, which will be again coming down as p from the loop. And finally we have the context, which will be coming down as the context that we have created just now. All right, now the context has to be appended every time. So first is we will append on section. Every time we are going to create something new or write the section, then we are supposed to append it as well. So let's append it. So let's sections append section. All right, so now we are accumulating on sections as well, and we have to append on context because we need to avoid the repetition. All right, so this way we avoid the repetition as well as we create a draft. Now finally we need to pass this section uh, as a partial dictionary, so we will return these sections. Okay, all right, so till now we are sorted. Now finally, for review content we need to create a draft and we need to send it for a review. So let's create a draft first. So draft, again it has to be a complete string. So let's create a complete string from the sections. All right, now let's create a final review. The review chain will invoke a draft which will be a draft. Okay, and finally we'll return the final review. All right. So till now we have completed the implementation for node. One thing to understand here, that these nodes are not just a placeholder to run the LLM, but you can also incorporate your own logic. Say if you have any kind of business logic that you need or you want to run on top of the data, the content state will hold anything as a shared schema, and on top of that shared schema, any logic can be implemented with or without LLM. All right. So this will save your time or the compute if you don't want to use LLM and you have your own inbuilt logic to solve this out or sort this out. We will see that going ahead down the line in our series. All right, we have implemented the graph. Now it's time for action. Let's implement the main and see it running. All right. So to implement the main, let's write it out. All right. Let's put a try while true. User input. We are reading it from the command line, so let's put it as in placeholder for user, and we will avoid any extra white space. All right, if not user input. Okay, and if there is a user input, then we will have it as app dot invoke, and we are going to have requires a dictionary. Okay, the input is always a dictionary, and it is going to be the user input. All right. Now if we do a simple print, again it's going to be a complex JSON. So or our dictionary that you can see, well, we want to print it in a human readable form, so let's import ppprint. Ppprint, and let's, as we know, this result is already parsed into a string, so we are going to, and finally it is going to return everything at the end, the complete state. So let's print the result. All right, now let's terminate this while is done. Let's finish this try with an except. All right, now let's see this in action. Okay, we have our content cascade pattern. Now let's run it. All right, just given a few seconds. Okay, now let's type in the area of interest. Let's see whether our workflow is worked perfectly fine. All right, it starts with the query AI in healthcare. Okay, then it creates multiple ideas, that are 5 ideas. As we can see, it is numbered 1 to 5. All right, now out of those 5 it will select the best topic, which is based on the relevance, clarity and potential engagement. The LLM has recommended the this idea. All right. Now, based on that idea, it has created a outline which is a multi-line which has couple of statements. Okay. Now, from this, we are taking top three and creating the outline or the sections. Once the section is created, we combine them together to create a draft, and finally the final content is generated, and we can see all the states as part of the output. However, the entire section is being captured as part of the state or history. Memory we are going to see in a different video altogether. All right. So, and this brings us to the end of the content generation workflow implementation. We have now seen how all the pieces come together, from idea generation to final refinement using structured agentic approach. I hope this hands-on walkthrough helped you understand not just how but also the why behind designing scalable AI workflow. If you find this useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more practical AI design patterns and implementation. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode for AI Agentic AI Cookbook series. Stay tuned.